Hey there, thank you for taking the time to view my video. If you can allow me a couple of minutes of your time, I'd like to formally introduce myself. My name is Paola Melena. I grew up constantly moving from city to city and state to state, but I'm really glad to say that I spend the majority of the time, most of my childhood here in Northeast LA, and that I'm still here, which is really exciting because I've actually, uh, like mentioned, I've moved from city to city, state to state. So it's nice to finally be settled here in northeastern LA. A little bit more about me. I recently graduated University of the West with a bachelor's degree in liberal arts and a concentration in digital marketing in the spring of 2019. I'd like to say that it was not too long ago, but it has been a year, so it's been a couple of months. Um, but I have a series of questions here that I want to answer. That way, you can have a better understanding of who I am and a little bit of just of myself, right? So, question number one, least favorite job. So, my least favorite job, I would say, is customer service. I recently worked probably a couple of months ago after I finished college. I went into a position as a customer service representative for a call center. Now, the reason I say this is my least favorite job is because as a customer service, I really had the opportunity to interact with customers. And I'm a very social butterfly. So speaking with others, it's great. I love having conversation. So that's why I love customer service. However, the reason I rank it as least favorite job is because people, especially customers, can be extremely rude and I can be extremely sensitive at times. And when a customer calls a customer service representative, it's usually because they're unsatisfied. And I found it a little difficult to um, be a little bit more tough and not take it to heart. And so that's why customer service is just one of my least, but also one of my favorites. But my favorite job overall would be obviously marketing, specifically copywriting, because I get to interact with customers just exactly the same ways to interact with in the customer service position. However, I interact in a written format and not verbally. And then also in copywriting, I don't become too sensitive. Like I don't obviously if you don't get your feelings hurt if you answer the phone. I mean, you don't even have to answer the phone when you're in copywriting marketing, so that's wonderful. um, but it's a lot. It's a same communication. You get to communicate, but different formats, and I feel like that's what I really liked about what I really love about copywriting. I get to communicate, but I don't get my feelings hurt, so that's awesome. Let's see. Another question here is current recent work. So my current recent work would be marketing, a digital marketing position. It was a remote position for Money Mouth Marketing Agency. I worked on several campaigns with them. I did a little bit of everything. Um, and I feel like this position really helped me um, realize where my strengths and my weaknesses were, because I felt like I went into this position believing that I was great at market research and that I wasn't so great at writing, right? So, and then after I did a couple of projects with them, I realized that it was actually the opposite, right? I was much better at writing, at copywriting, at doing advertisements, and not so much. I was still great at research, but not as great as I thought I was. So it really gave me the opportunity to explore, right? To explore my weaknesses and my strengths. And so, but it was a temporary job, unfortunately. So, I no longer work with them. Next question, social media channels. My favorite social media channels. Wow. So, let's see. There's a lot of social media channels out there, but I got to say that my favorite social media channel right now and for a couple of years it has been Instagram. For the reason being that it's very visual and I'm a very visual person. And I feel like visuals are actually a trending thing right now. So, I really like Instagram for that reason. I also really liked LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn because it's similar to Facebook. However, with Facebook, I felt like the content wasn't as meaningful, at least based on what I had on my feed. But LinkedIn is amazing. I get to, it's a little bit more professional, or actually a lot more professional, and I get to really interact in a very positive manner. I see positive posts. I see people getting promoted, and that's all of that is beautiful to see and to read. So I love LinkedIn for that reason. And then my third favorite social media channel. A lot of people won't really I guess identify this channel as a social media channel, but I personally do because there's a communication, and that would be Quora. So I really love Quora because I love learning, and I feel like Quora is definitely a really great resource to use when it comes to just anything. You can learn anything about Quora. People ask questions, and professionals and people who know about the question that you ask, they go on there and they answer your question, and it's great. I love it. um so those would be my favorite three social media channels. And the next question would be, what are my hobbies? So there's a lot of hobbies that I have, but recently with quarantine I had to kind of minimize that, unfortunately. But some of those hobbies include reading. I'm actually currently reading a book named D is a Deadbeat by Sue Grafton. I hopefully am pronouncing the name correctly. But it's such a great book. It's a mystery murder book, and I love mystery murder. Uh, Another hobby of mine would be indoor cycling. I actually recently purchased a stationary bike since we can't go out as much anymore. So I've been doing a lot of that. And it's been great. I love it. I love fitness, so I'm glad that I'm able to bring in fitness to my house. Another hobby of mine would be meeting up with my friends. Like I mentioned earlier, I love speaking. I am a social butterfly, so spending time with friends, having conversation with them, even if it's a 10 and like 20-minute thing, I love connecting with people who are close to me, and great people who are like-minded. So meeting up with friends is something that I guess I would consider a hobby, even though I haven't done it very much often. And lastly, one of my many hobbies would be creating content on Canva that I never upload. Um, I'm guilty of that. I love Canva. I create so many things. I'm not the greatest at graphics, but Canva makes me feel like I'm a professional. Uh, so it's a lot of fun. I get to play around with it, and I have a lot of things that I've created on Canva. And the last question here would be something no one knows about me. So, something a lot of people do not know about me is that I have a fear. Actually, there's a couple of things. I have a fear to birds. I can't stand birds. I know that they are harmless animals, but I just it's as long as I could remember, I've always been afraid of birds, and I've always seen when I was younger little kids running towards the birds and like feeding them, and at the park, and I could not resonate with that, and it's very unfortunate because um yeah, birds are everywhere. You go to the street, they're there. You go to the park, they're there. And so it's something that I struggle with. It all began really with my parents. When I was very, very young, I believe I was like 3 or 4 years old. He played a very cruel prank on me. They were young, so they were a little immature, right? But they played a prank on me they showed me apparently a movie named Birds, where there's killer birds, and they scared me. They were telling me there was like killer birds under my bed, so that was very terrifying for me. So that's one thing that a lot of people don't know about me. So that's pretty much it. It's a little bit of myself. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I hope that I can, um, get to open up a little bit more about myself along the way. But for now, this is it. So thank you very much for taking the time. I hope that you are doing great and that you're safe and sound, especially during these crazy, 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 insane times. But thank you very much. I will speak to you soon. Bye.